Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with my friend Pierce Watkins over here, and we're about to find out why he's the Shadow Man.
Yes, I am the Shadow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first, before we get into that, what I do here is I talk to people about how whatever belief systems they were a part of and how they found their way out and the results of that sort of thing. But as the headliner says, it's not really a deconversion story. It's kind of something a little bit different that we're going to get into, obviously. So I'm kind of looking forward to that too. And I definitely want to hear now all about this whole Shadow Man thing. But anyways, guys out there in the chat, if you look below, there's a Linktree link, and you can find Pierce in a bunch of different places. So feel free to give him a follow or stalk him wherever the hell you feel you want to. All right, Pierce, take us on this little journey. And before you do that, tell us why the X-Files kind of informant blacked out guy thing.
Contrary to what some people, the rumors out there that I'm in the witness protection program, that's just a rumor. So I am the Shadow. What's that?
I said rumor, huh?
Yeah, rumor. No, it's just what my wife and I agreed upon. So the kind of things that, especially initially when I started my channel, were controversial, to say the least. I think they're truth, but there's people out there that disagree with it quite heavily. And there's people out there that obviously aren't in the right mind, and it's just kind of a safety thing because I'm married now and I have a child on the way. So I want to do. Thank you. I want to do everything I can to protect them, even if it's just a sliver of a percent that something bad could happen. I don't even want to take that sliver of a chance. I love them too much to take that even sliver. So that's all it is.
So where's the voice modulation program?
I did that early on, and then I decided that was dumb. So I dropped that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So fair enough.
Oh, there was the coins. Drink up, fools.
So,
of course, I'm on water because I'm on blood thinners, so I can't even have a fucking.
Oh yeah, you doing better about that issue?
Yeah, it's the swelling is going down, and it's actually starting to be a little bit more noticeable. So I'm hoping that it's finally making its way through this rather large clot I apparently had. So yeah,
hope so.
Yeah, me too, because it can be lethal otherwise, and I'm not done here yet. So I still got a few things I got to do. Like, see Susan in the chat there. I promised I'd come down there and visit and have beers with her and Nathaniel. So that's going to happen at least first. So, anyway.
All right. I guess I'll get started then.
All right.
So if you were to ask my mother, my loving, great mother, if you were to ask her what religion I was raised in, she would say Catholic.
Okay.
And if you were to ask me, I really wouldn't say that. And that's kind of a weird thing to say and think about, right? Because it's like your mother should know that, right? She should know what she raised you like, but she has her beliefs of, Catholic beliefs, right?
Sure.
But we didn't go to church, and we didn't
never?
We went on Christmas, right?
Oh, you did the Christmas Mass thing, I guess.
Yeah, but not forever either. It was I don't know when we stopped, but it was early on. It must have been 6 years old, maybe, or something around there. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then it was just forget about it, right? So
forget about it.
Yeah. And she never even talked about religion. She never talked about God or Jesus. She put up what are those things called? The little statues during Christmas, right?
The nativity scene, that kind of shit?
Nativity scene, that's the word I'm looking for. She did that, but she never talked about it, right? She said phrases like, oh my God, right? And stuff like that, but she never talked about how she loved Jesus or anything. It was just a thing she believed, right? And never really pushed it on me, so that's
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of grateful that she took that kind of route.
You didn't have to get hit with a yardstick from the nuns and stuff like that.
No yardsticks. There was a small period of time in which she enrolled me in some sort of after school religion classes, because I went to public school, because I mean, we couldn't have afforded any type of private school. So yeah, there was a small period of time with that, but that didn't last long. It was weird. I didn't like it. Actually, speaking of that, it was church and that religion class was a really, really weird experience for me. Because going in, she didn't talk to me about that kind of stuff, right? She figured that this religion class would probably just get the job done, right? And going into it, and then, obviously going to church like maybe once or twice a year, right? Going in there, this was my thought. And I kind of wonder if any other children have this thought, or maybe it's just a Pierce thing. I don't know. But I was thinking, like, why are all the adults pretending? And it's a weird thing to think about. Like, I thought that everybody had the same beliefs as me, and that everyone else was just kind of going along with it for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a Pierce thing, or
I've heard variations on that sort of a theme before in the past. Like, people that were in a not really an overly religious family, but they went to church occasionally, or in my case, we went to shul, which is the Jewish church thing. When I was a kid, we went almost every Friday night. And then, of course, over what they call the high holidays, like not Passover, Yom Kippur and stuff like that. But later on, it was like, we didn't really go anymore. I mean, my dad went once in a while, but none of us really stuck with it after we kind of had our bar and bat mitzvahs. So, yeah, but I've also heard people say that they can't believe that people sort of believe this stuff that sounds ridiculous. Like it just sounds like a mythology kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thought that I have. And I feel like I continued to not think that specifically. Like like after a while, I knew that these people, truly believed that, Jesus rose from the dead and, the whole 9 yards, right? But I feel like I also into my like young adult years, like late teen years, kind of continued that way of thinking. And I think that was a pretty awful, way to determine what other people believed, So anyways, I'll kind of touch on that in a little bit.
What's your lampshade say? Does that say, what would Pierce ask?
Yeah, it's kind of like wrong way. That way. Yeah, there's a little thing that I do on my channel and my podcast. I mirror pretty much everything over there. But what would Pierce ask is like a street epistemology, almost like exercise. So, like, let's say one example of one that I did was Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I'm sure you're familiar with who she is. She made a claim of some sort. And then I just kind of pretend to ask her questions and kind of think about how she would respond and what I would ask after she responds. And it's just kind of a little thing that I do.
Interesting.
Yeah. But thank you. I'm proud of my lamp. It was my wife's idea, actually.
That looks cool.
So with growing up and whatnot, the majority of my life, I never really thought much about being an atheist. It was just kind of like a thing, right? And I don't think even my mother really knew for quite some time. I think probably she realized sometime in my teen years when, being a teen and just saying mean things. I don't know, like she might say something about God and it's like, no, screw your God, stupid things teenagers say, right? So I think at that point,
your God.
Yeah, exactly. So I think at that point she kind of realized, but majority of my life it was just like whatever. Nobody asked, so I didn't say nothing, right?
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell, right?
Don't ask, don't tell. So, and then kind of getting back to, so I had that idea as a child that everybody had the kind of the same beliefs as me, and in high school, I think I kind of used that same theory, I guess you could say, the misconception, really. But So Barack Obama got elected president, and then that was awesome. I think he did pretty well. I voted for him actually, and like this is actually kind of embarrassing for me, and this is the old Pierce way of thinking, not the new Pierce way of thinking. But after he got elected, and his policies, I think, were very good for like the LGBT community and as a whole. And I kind of assumed like the majority. Oh, I mean, I would say this is true. The majority of people are not racist or homophobic or misogynistic. I would say the majority of people in the U.S. aren't. I think that's still something that's true. But at that time, the old Pierce, he thought that like it was 1 in a million, right? That I never saw it in my like community. Like I was in my own little like bubble, right? So my friends weren't homophobic or misogynistic or racist, right? And my teachers, I mean, if they were, they weren't expressing that. My family, I hope not, right? I don't think so. So I kind of had that belief, and that I was wrong on, but I don't know. I guess as I go, you'll see why maybe that's kind of important here.
Okay.
So we fast forward like a bunch of years. And I think probably as those years gone on, I didn't hold too tightly to that belief, especially after Obama's term. Things in the media seemed to indicate perhaps otherwise. But
well, a good percentage anyways.
Yeah. And but also at the same time, for me anyways, at that time, I was not necessarily using good ways to determine truth. But the things that I saw on the TV, I don't know if I really connected with that and thought, hey, that's happening. That's really happening out there. But it's just like, no, that would never happen in my community. That would never happen around me. That's out in New York. That's out in LA, right? That's not happening here. And that's just such an awful way to look at things, I think, you know?
Well, unless you're, who knows? Maybe you've got rose-colored glasses on that you're wearing, right? I mean,
right.
Maybe you just don't see it, or somehow you blind yourself from it.
Absolutely. I think
like
that's
you're mentally, subconsciously ignoring that kind of thing because you don't like it, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's probably what I was doing.
I've been there too.
Yeah. And
regrettably.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you do see it, it kind of changes
everything.
Yeah, it changes everything. So, and there was this one incident that pretty much did that for me. And you know, when I was writing up my my notes here, I got a bunch of notes because otherwise I'd be talking like a crazy person. I wouldn't know what direction to even go in.
Well, you're on the right show then.
I'm in good company then. Good.
Yeah, I talk like a crazy person all the time.
So I switched positions at my job. So I was doing one position and then I switched to a different position, and I had already known this individual, this coworker. I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but I mean, obviously, look at me. But so I switched positions, went from this other position. I knew the guy, but I didn't work alongside him, right? I talked to him just about every day, but I didn't sit right next to him. I didn't talk to him all day long. Yeah, we're not talking all day long, right? We're working. But so I switched over. I'm working really closely with him, and knowing him for a couple of years, 3 years, quite a few years anyways. It doesn't matter how many. But he's someone that I learned to trust, and I had respect for him. And I'd say we were friends, right?
Sure.
He was someone that I had gotten kind of close to in a way. I mean, I hadn't, not like really close. He wasn't like my best friend, but
someone you saw often, hung out with, that kind of
stuff. Yeah, definitely. And then these two events occurred, and man, did it writing up these notes, it actually like really got to me. I was writing them up a couple nights ago. And dang, I hope I don't like get too emotional here, but so these two things. The first thing
I'm
that
ready.
that it really made my blood boil, and I'm not really going to get into too much detail on this first one. For one, for YouTube monetization. So, and I don't want to,
I wouldn't worry about that.
and plus, I don't actually want to say any of these things, so I'm just not going to.
Fair enough.
So, and before I tell you on this first one, I just want everyone to understand a little bit of the context. Not that this context is super important. Anybody, well, I don't know what the right word to say right there is, but it doesn't matter.
Maybe?
Kind of. I don't know. I'm talking like a crazy person now, but so
it's working.
So I am a white male, as not that you could really tell too much. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. But I am married to someone of Mexican descent. They were born in Mexico. They migrated over to the United States. And as I mentioned earlier, she is pregnant with my child. So my child's going to be biracial. So I think that's kind of important to keep in mind when I tell you the next things. And this person did know that. He knew that probably within the first few months that I met him.
Okay. But
his comments, and I'm going to be careful with my words just in case, for whatever reason, I still work there, so if anybody were to see this, I don't want to completely
shit to fly off the rails.
Yeah, or eat where don't shit where you eat, right? But they were racially insensitive. Let's just say that. So they were not something that he should be saying in a workplace, for one. I think it crossed the line of what's legal. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, I considered ourselves friends. And him to say those things, and he wasn't specifically talking about my wife, or my child wasn't even conceived at that point, but it really, really got to me, right? I was...
Is this sort of something that you didn't expect to hear from him?
No, I really didn't. You'd think that would have came up at some point, and maybe there were
a hint of it or something.
Yeah, something.
You just didn't notice, maybe.
Looking back, I guess I did notice, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like it wasn't completely overt, right? Like he could have meant something else, and then I guess I just assumed that he meant something else. But in this particular circumstance, it was just like, no, it's just like that's a terrible, terrible thing. So yeah, that was pretty devastating to me, and it was kind of the first time that someone close to me, said something like that. And I don't know, it really changed my way of thinking. It wasn't something that was so distant anymore. It was right next to me. And I don't know, it just got to me. And then there is, incident number 2 here. And I guess this is really when I decided to start my channel. Mm-hmm. If that first incident wasn't enough, this one got to me because it wasn't.
I'm going to hazard a guess here. Was something that he said that was probably racially driven?
No. This second incident was not racially driven at all.
I meant the first time.
Oh, the first one. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not worth repeating it because we don't need to spread that kind of shit around. But I understand.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of gets it. I assume.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, just to clarify. That's too bad.
Yeah, it really is. And then, so the next thing that happened, it hit. I mean, if that first one didn't hit home already, the second one really, really hit home. And I wish I recalled what the conversation started as. I have absolutely no idea. I think it was something pretty benign and irrelevant. I think it may have been like, I don't know, for example, it could have been like about a computer working correctly or something. I don't know. Yeah, I know. It was, you'll see what I mean. So he said that you have to have faith that, I don't know, this computer is working correctly. Who knows? It was something really benign. It wasn't about God initially.
Right.
He said you have to have faith. And, at this point I was kind of like already a bit angry with him because it was like, I wasn't exactly on good terms with him. Right. So I said, no, you don't have to have faith. And at that point, I think he thought I was referring to like religion and God at that point.
Mhm.
So he like flat out asked me, do you believe in God? And I said, no. And I actually thought he was going to drop it at that point because I kind of just wanted to, because like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. But of course, it didn't stop there.
Right.
He said that I had to believe.
You
in a
had
God.
to?
I had
Oh,
to.
boy.
I don't know if he
Says
meant.
who?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if
Are you the God police? Like, what the fuck?
Apparently, he is the God police.
Oh,
I don't know if he meant legally, or I don't know what he meant. Doesn't really matter. But he said that I had to, and I asked him which God, because that's of course the next question.
Which of the hundreds of thousands are you referring to?
Exactly. And probably to your surprise, Neil, I wouldn't have expected this. I didn't expect this then, and I wouldn't expect this now. He said it didn't matter. He said that I just had to believe in a God. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's not something the Judeo-Christian Islamic type God believer would say. That's bizarre.
I still think that's a bit bizarre. So, yeah, I don't really know.
Tell him, okay, sure, I'll believe in the flying spaghetti monster. How's that?
I wish I would have said that, actually.
I have a colander at home. I'll wear it as a religious item. Jackass.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking over my notes because.
No problem. Yeah. Is it light enough to read there? Or?
Yeah, it's actually pretty light.
Yes, but it's coming from behind.
I told him it wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to believe in any God. So, and his response was, well, you will when you get older. Because, of course he's going to say that.
Most people, as they get older, drop those beliefs.
Yeah.
Well, not most, but
not
many.
Most, but yeah. I told him, no, that's not going to happen. And I think he probably knew I was getting pretty irritated at that point. I wasn't yelling, but I was rather stern about that point. My blood was starting to get a little boiling, Mm-hmm. I wasn't exactly happy with what he was saying.
Like, look, man, I don't believe, and leave it at that.
Yeah. Then at this point, I think he knew that my blood was boiling, and apparently he took offense to me saying that, like, hey, no, no means no. But he didn't like that, and he began basically screaming at me at that point and telling me I was going to hell. So yeah, that in
oh no.
And this was in the middle of the office, so there was probably at least.
Oh my God! How many people heard?
Probably 4 or 5, maybe. It depends if the people in the front area heard. They probably did. Yeah, everybody.
Ben says, "Which hell?"
I should have said which hell. No, at that point, I kind of just put my head down and didn't even look at him for pretty much the rest of the day. Yeah, that was a really. My blood was just like if I had a blood cuff, or what do you call that? I don't know what that is. Something to measure your blood pressure. It would have been like through the roof at that point. I was, and I was angry in the moment, but when I got home, made my dinner, I was just kind of like, I was just sad. Like, I really wanted to know what would compel someone to do that, right? Mm-hmm. I really had a lot of questions. Like, why does someone do that? Why do they? How many people out there would do this if I told them, right? Like, if I just walked up to my boss, mm-hmm. Is he going to do that? If I tell a different coworker, are they going to do that? I was just really like stunned. Like, I didn't think that was even a thing that could happen. I mean, of course, I knew that it could happen. I know that there's at the time. I knew that there's, families out there that will shun their children if they come out as an atheist, or if they come out as gay, or, and I knew that was a thing, but I don't know. I guess someone close to me, it just really, really struck home in a way that really changed me. And, that's pretty much why I started my channel and why I started doing what I'm doing. Cause I figured what could I do? I wanted to know, I wanted to find the answers to my questions, and I wanted to do something so maybe other people wouldn't do this. Right. I didn't want someone else to go through the anger and disappointment and that I went through. Right. And that's pretty much what I tried to do. And but anyways, I continued my journey here with those questions of how many people are out there that are like that, and why someone would do that. And that kind of led me to my first video, and it did not go as planned, and it's a terrible editing of a video, so you shouldn't go out and watch it, because it's very poorly done. And I was using my kind of my robot voice that you were talking about earlier. So but to sum it up, I plan to just join a bunch of Facebook groups, right? And more or less be a troll. I was trying to bait them into saying awful things, like the same experience that I had with my coworker. So like one of the things that I wanted to do in all these various groups was like, say, make a post saying, what are we going to do with all these atheists, right? And so I set out to do this, and I'm kind of excited, seeing what's going to happen. And I posted in the first group, and I get banned from that group. It's like, okay, great. That didn't work. Do it in the second one. Got banned. That's not going to work. I do it in a whole bunch of different groups. It's not working. And then I join a Trump support group.
Jeez.
I didn't get banned.
What the hell possessed you to do that?
I wanted to find out if people would take the bait. How many people out there would, say, no, what are you talking about, atheists? They have the right to live in whatever country they want and have lack beliefs and, do their thing, right? And see how many people would say, no, we should just get rid of them or put them in jail, or, whatever crazy statements they're gonna say. But I didn't get banned in there. And also the results were really, really troubling. Really troubling. So probably the one that was the most mild was the atheist one. People didn't really say anything too crazy about it. There was actually quite a few people who were mildly supportive. So that was actually a little encouraging. It wasn't the worst of all the things that I said. And I said one about gay individuals, and that one actually wasn't so bad either. Surprisingly enough, that actually got quite a bit of support there.
In the Trump one?
In the Trump one, yeah. And yeah, so I was actually kind of pleased on that. I mean, of course, there was quite a few that were not wonderful, and actually quite a few that mentioned God that actually were supportive in a way. But
yeah, that's not an unusual thing. There are in today's day and age, there are a lot of quite progressive, liberalish type churches that even have like gay pastors or ministers and priests and stuff. So, of course.
I don't know how many of those would support Trump, but that's another story.
Yeah.
the one that was the most troubling to me was, surprisingly enough, I made one about what should we do with the Mexicans. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was pretty bad. And the one, actually, I think that one I got deleted, but it started off with a few bad comments and then got deleted. And I changed it to, I think, what should we do about the Mexican flag that people fly or something, and got pretty rotten responses on that one. But the very, very worst one that I did was, and hopefully nobody like clips this out and makes it sound like I'm saying something awful, but what should we do with all the Muslims? And that absolutely broke my freaking heart. That was,
no doubt.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know. Almost all the comments were just awful. And there may have been one that was like, what the heck's going on here, people? You know? But yeah, it was just, there was actually like calls for violence, you know?
Oh, wow.
And it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
How the hell does Facebook allow they ban people for the stupidest shit, and then someone says something like that and they don't get a ban? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was before they really stepped up their banning. Yeah. But that was my first video, and I don't think that I was any closer to figuring out either of my answers to my questions. How many people out there that are like that, and why they're like that.
Well, clearly, as we've seen, since Trump was elected, and thankfully he's gone now, but as we've seen, a lot of those voices got elevated because of that whole thing. And you now know that a fairly decent size of the country, decent amount of people in that in the U.S. are still in that mindset and still, racist or bigoted or whatever. And it's horrifying, because you thought that maybe we had evolved as a species enough to start getting over these kinds of fucking ridiculous beliefs.
Yeah. In 2008, 9, 10, I thought that we may have. I thought that we were close, and perhaps not. Perhaps not.
See, now Tons of Mice is the guy that usually clips stuff all the time, and now he's like, "Hey, why is everyone looking at me?" After you said, "Oh, nobody clips this."
Oh,
but don't worry, something like that. Tons is good people, so he probably won't.
Yeah,
do something like that.
And I was also just kind of joking too. So. Okay, what is the next part of my story? I have to look at my notes.
No problem.
Okay, the next thing that I kind of did, I don't know. I mean, maybe I did it before my video, maybe I didn't. My first video, I don't know. But I started searching atheist in a bunch of different areas online. So I plugged it in on Facebook. I plugged it in on Reddit. I plugged it in on YouTube. Found a bunch of different things, and it kind of opened up my mind quite a bit, right? Because I don't watch the news, I don't sit on my ass all day watching like CNN or whatever. So I don't see a lot of news. My mom
does that for you.
Yeah. So I like when I found the atheist subreddit, and I saw a lot of the news articles, not that those are on CNN a lot, but I saw all those things, and it really started to like, wow, religion can be pretty harmful. Like growing up with how my mom taught religion, she didn't really teach religion, but I thought religion was relatively benign and maybe even a good thing. And I didn't even believe it, right? So that was kind of my mindset for a long, long time. Probably since I could conceive what a religion was till, high school. It was like, yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah, there's people out there that are gonna do awful things to LGBT people, and it's like 1 in a million, right? But it's not. And that kind of opened up my mind to seeing that like, wow, it's out there. And, it's out in my community too. After I witnessed my coworker, I started paying attention. I started looking at things, and it's like, oh, that person owns a business right down the street from me, and he's saying all these awful things on social media. That's awful. That's close to me. That's not out in a faraway state, in a faraway city. Yeah. So yeah, it just kind of hit home to me. And one of the things I came across when I was kind of just searching atheists, because I wanted to figure out if anybody else, had the answers to my questions, and someone kind of did. And that would be Matt Dillahunty. Something he said in one of it, probably plenty of his videos, I'm sure, was that you don't choose your beliefs.
That's right.
A belief is just something that you're convinced of. And
you don't choose your beliefs. You're either convinced of something or you're not.
Yes, exactly. That's probably a better quote.
And I'm not sure he came up with that quote.
I'm sure not.
I'm sure it's been around for a long time, but he uses it quite often.
Yes,
or at least used to, anyways.
I'm fairly certain he still does. Yeah. But
but
yeah, that's something that really stuck with me, and I think that was kind of, I may not have fully answered my question, but I think that answered my question of why someone would be compelled to do what my coworker did. Right. So he was convinced that he was doing the right thing. Right.
You got to remember too, it has a lot to do with upbringing.
Right.
The kind of like subculture of that upbringing, and also the neighborhood you grow up in, right? Some of your friends might be that way, so there's all sorts of influences that can make a person think and behave that way.
Yeah, right. And so kind of going down that rabbit hole, I think YouTube must have recommended me an Anthony Magnabosco video.
Nice.
And boy, did that really changed. I don't think I'm going out on a limb or stretching this in any sense of my imagination. I mean, maybe I am. I don't think I am, though. I think it changed who I am. Like, it really, really did.
Maybe an element of who you are.
Yeah, amount of who I am. Not. I mean, I'm still Pierce, right? I'm still the same person. My personality is still the same.
Well, we don't know because we can't see you. So
yeah. But honestly, it really, really did change my outlook, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. I binge watched like every single one of his videos in 1 or 2 weeks. It was just wild. And that's when I decided to change the whole direction of my channel. So at that point, I was just, I don't know, seeing stuff on, the Atheist subreddit, right? Or like seeing stuff on YouTube or seeing wherever I could find it and just kind of criticizing it, just saying, hey, that's really bad that this pastor guy is doing, or Trump said this thing and it was really bad, and whatever. And I didn't see that as being productive anymore. I was like, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it would do some good of some sort, perhaps, but I didn't think I was ever gonna make any type of positive impact by doing that, right? I don't think somebody who believes something like that is going to watch it and say, oh, yeah, right. What was I thinking? I'm totally wrong, right? It just wasn't going to happen.
Cognitive dissonance, right? Like,
right.
Or bias, all sorts of shit rolled into that. Like, yeah, I mean, you can give someone a whole bunch of stuff to look at, and you never know. It might eventually, after watching a few, they might sort of think, well, you know what? Actually, this makes kind of a sense or something, because that has happened.
Yeah.
But it's rare that you're just going to subtly change somebody's mind by throwing facts and shit at them, right?
Right.
So they're going to double down, maybe even a little Dunning-Kruger effect, possibly, but
very well possible.
Right.
And really, it's going to be rare to change someone's mind, regardless whether you're just, throwing facts at them or if you're using street epistemology, right? It's a uphill road if you want to change someone's mind. And I don't know that
It's a good method, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Dan, right? Like, look at objectively Dan. He's a prime example of someone who was affected by the method of street epistemology, or the Socratic method anyways.
Right. But I think I've changed what exactly my objective is. I don't know that I'm out. I mean, I guess in a way I'm still out to change people's minds, right? Especially ones that are like demonstrably false, like racism and so awful things like that.
Shitty stuff. Sure. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, with SE, I think it's just like I'm going out there. I'm going to listen to people. I'm going to hear out what their reasons are, and I'm going to challenge, those reasons, right? And the approach that SE takes is just, I don't know, it's just, I really do like it. And it really, I think just about every single day of some sort, I will use SE on my wife just about every single day. And it's not crazy claims like, a God claim or anything like that. It's just minor things. Like she'll think that something with her pregnancy is going amiss, right? And I'll say, why do you think that affected the baby? And she'll say, well, I think it may have affected because, I ate a fruit that you're not supposed to eat. And I was like, well, and we'll go through that whole process. And it's just great because you can come to a conclusion that is closer to truth than what you had before, at least. So I don't know. I'm just a big advocate of street epistemology. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. Anyways, it's really pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a claim even out there that I wouldn't dig into. Like on my channel, I've tried to have just the biggest variety of claims. I've talked about circumcision. I've obviously talked about very specific God claims, and then just God in general.
Yeah.
Question.
I got a question.
Yeah.
You said you spoke about circumcision.
Yeah.
Are you circumcised?
Ooh, in that video, my interlocutor asked me that exact question. And typically I will answer every single question that anyone asks me. But that one I'm putting the lock on. That one I'm not revealing.
It will remain a mystery.
It will remain a mystery.
I was raised Jewish, so it's kind of. So you took the little hood off? Well, I didn't, but someone did when I was a baby, right? So yeah, I don't remember. But I have a friend who swears that he suffers from like phantom limb syndrome sort of thing. He says he still feels occasionally a little bit of pain in that area because he was circumcised when he was a child too. So, which I've never heard before, which just kind of blew me away. I'm like, wow, you can actually, because I don't remember any of the pain. I don't remember anything. Right.
I think it depends on the technique and how it's done. And because there's nerves everywhere in that area, right? Yeah. So if you cut it just incorrectly, or if you want to say there is a correct or incorrect way, but if you cut in a certain area that isn't ideal, it's gonna have effects, I think.
Good for you, Chemo. A lot of people, it became sort of trendy for a little while that I remember, like in the 70s and 80s, because it was considered to be aesthetically pleasing. Which I've really, I've seen both, and I didn't really. So what? So one's got a turtleneck, the other one doesn't.
Yeah, I talked to another person, not on my channel, about that, and that was actually one of the reasons. Was, well, yeah, if you don't do it, it's gonna look weird. It's like
weird.
Yeah, either way, it's a penis. It's not going to be like the prettiest thing in the world, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, keep that away from my food, will you? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
trying to stir my fucking drink with that thing. Yeah. I still have my dick jacket, Iron Charioteer. Thank you, Jesus. That's awesome. Sorry, sometimes the comments get me. Can you see them yourself?
Yeah. I switched.
Okay.
I was on the private chat, but I switched over. I can see them now. So.
Yeah. The private chat. I just asked Mikey why his little window's all gray, but we'll find out. So.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty much my story there, all out in the open.
Right on. So yeah, not really a lot of religious influence, but it was there in a way. But you kind of were like, yeah, I don't buy it. Which is, a little bit like me. I mean, I remember being little and praying to or asking for favors, but I really don't think I really ever believed like full on. I just kind of went along with it myself,
Really?
Kind of thing. And then eventually I was just like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. This can't be. I would ask questions at what they call Hebrew school to my teacher, like, how the fuck could he fit all the animals on the ark? Like what the hell? What the termites eat that shit? Like, what's going on? And they couldn't answer these questions, right?
Right.
I spent a lot of time in the hallway. Get out the hallway! Hey.
Yeah, I wasn't that bold as a child. I was quiet as all hell, so I didn't ask those questions, but I was thinking them. I was thinking them, that's for sure.
I was a little shithead shit disturber is what I was.
No
well,
way.
Mikey, get your ass in here, man. I understand now what he's done. He looks like the Apple iPod.
Oh, look at that.
I couldn't steal your background, so I had to steal your whole persona.
I dig it.
I was gonna get the voice mod thing going, but I'm like, that thing's annoying.
Yeah, it really is. That's why I dropped it.
And then I don't even really hear it, but everybody else hears it. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So one thing you were saying, with coworkers, it's impossible, especially trying to be an atheist in 2021. I'm a supervisor for a former nun, and her God, if she isn't the worst Catholic I've ever seen in my entire life, yet she's still trying to implement stuff and cast judgment on people, and she doesn't ever want to listen to anybody, and she's always trying to boss everybody around. I'm like, excuse me, you do not have a yardstick. You go stand where you're supposed to stand and do your job. I don't need you trying to run everything for me. But yeah, I can definitely feel you on working with people who are absolute batshit crazy. And as far as that closet racism thing, it's so funny when people hear me and then they see me, they have two very different reactions. Because my voice doesn't sound like a 6-foot black guy with a ponytail. But unfortunately...
Well, hold on now. What does a 6-foot black guy with a ponytail sound like, Mikey?
Well, I mean, that's up to the artist's interpretation, I believe.
Okay, good
answer. But they don't think it's me.
Huh.
Right.
So or people will call the job and say, oh, I got this problem, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Just bring it by the shop. We'll take care of you. And they come and they're like, well, where's the guy? Well, me. I'm the only guy that works up here.
Huh.
Wow. The green screen has become sentient.
Green Man. We had the Green Man at the Canucks games. They used to dress in the green leotards and annoy the shit out of the opposing team's players in the penalty box. What was their name? Their names were Force and Sully. I actually met them and got to talk to them for a bit too. I'd love to have them on the show. That'd be hilarious because they're funny guys.
It's just a dude in a Slender Man suit just fucking with the other team.
Not yet, Amanda. Not yet.
Oh, sorry, Amanda.
That's okay.
But it and then there have been a couple times where people said, no, not the black manager. I want to talk to you. I'll see you when you get in there. I'm just like, yeah, I'm the only black guy here. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, I'm Mikey. I'll see you at the desk, all right? And then they come in.
These stories.
And then they come in and they see me and then they read the name tag and they're like, oh.
Wow. Do they apologize at that point? What do they do?
Oh, they act like it wasn't them.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, were you on the phone earlier? And they're like,
You're
what?
Randy.
No.
Ho, ho, ho. Mikey.
That's not bad.
Not yet, Amanda, but I got a little bit in here that I'll be partaking in soon. So
I'm gonna switch out of green because everyone's making green jokes. I gotta switch it up on
it's
them.
legal here in Canada, you see.
Let's see.
It's always sunny in Vancouver. No, we are in a rainforest. However, it hasn't rained since June 15th. And that rain was actually like for 10 minutes and quite light. We have had nothing but blue skies here, which is really weird for this area. And we are entering another heat wave. Not like the heat dome that we had last time where it hit like 50 fucking degrees Celsius. Well, not quite, but 120 something degrees Fahrenheit for you guys.
I was about to say, if you could please convert that to freedom units, I would appreciate that.
Well, now you're orange. Now you're totally the fucking old Apple ads, man. The iPod ads.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just start dancing.
Yeah. I think the first one I saw like that had the U2 song on it.
And then just get some white, what's it called? Well, they're not AirPods. It was back the old headphones, right?
Like earbuds
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's just the normal ass earbuds.
36C.
But yeah.
What are we at here?
I'm glad you
32
found
currently.
I'm glad you found like some solace in like the internet and stuff like that, because like as easily as I found the good stuff, there was like I was like, there's so much bad stuff. Like those Trump groups and shit like that. Like every once in a while, like someone will share something from one of those groups because I can't be bothered. And I'm just like, holy shit. It'll be like just literally just a picture of Barack Obama. No words, no nothing. Just a picture of him. And there's 10,000 comments. And I'm like, look at this. But these are the guys who hate snowflakes. Right?
That is ironic.
They just hate snowflakes so much that they spend all of their waking moments complaining about somebody. Yikes. That's a rough one.
I don't know if you saw what Beach put there when you said freedom units. Freedom units.
You know, I have an idea.
Hi, Beach.
What happens if I turn my green screen on?
I think you might spontaneously combust, so I don't know.
Ah!
No, you just disappear.
I'm all the way gone. Oh, look. Here I am.
Hey, look, it's the elements, the table of elements, periodic table. Yeah.
Yes. I've
I got
conquered it.
I've
Conquered the matrix. I am the computer.
Hey, look, if you look down towards in the middle there, you'll see that my cane is one of the elements.
Oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god, I'm Miwa. This is the best. All right, let me stop. All right, one more.
I'm sorry, Pierce, I should have warned you.
No, it's okay. This is rather entertaining, actually.
Now this I can get jiggy with.
Does anybody actually say that anymore?
Me,
No.
just me.
I think
I'm the
Will
last
Smith
one.
does.
Get jiggy with it.
He cashed them getting jiggy with it checks. That shit is at every sporting event. He's still getting paid off that song.
I think, yeah, I know, right? And he's gonna have to cut you a check, and so's Apple, because you keep using their format for your little thing going on there.
Joke's on them. It's not a solid color anymore, see? Now they can't sue me.
Well, that's kind of neat.
About
Can you do
this.
that to me too, or do I have to be able to do that on my end?
Yeah, I have to show you some stuff.
Okay. Ooh. Wow.
Have to show you some things. Oh, here we go. There. Now everyone's happy.
Everyone wants the bacon cheesecake.
The bacon cheesecake. No one can be upset about this.
Oh my god, this is one of the best things I've ever eaten. That and the bacon brownies, man. One of the best things I've ever eaten.
Oof.
Unfortunately, I can't eat that shit right now.
I'll eat it for you. Just send it over here.
That piece of cheesecake there would have like 150 gazillion ounces or grams of fucking sodium in it, and it would kill me instantly. What? Oh, X is upset. Why are you upset, X? Well,
He's
tell you
always
what,
upset.
why don't you jump in the after party and you can beak about it, and maybe we can help.
Yes. Oh, perfect.
Well, what do you say, guys? Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just get into an after party? Because it's pretty much turning into that right now.
Yeah.
So why don't we do that?
Yeah.
So basically, before we head on out of here, get in my belly. Oh, I say he's upset because you're showing him cheesecake and you're not giving him any, Mike. That's
Oh, that'd be too bad if I started looking up food pictures right now, wouldn't it? Oh.
Yeah. Because all I had was a couple of sandwiches when I got home, so I'm gonna have to munch down later on. Oh my god, my roommate bought these. My roommate bought these fucking amazing ginger snaps.
Ooh.
They're like ginger fucking plus.
Ginger
like
with
even
some...
little ginger strips in them, like little bits of ginger.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
that'll clear your nasal passage. Actually, that's what I need. Go
yeah.
get some ginger snaps so I can fucking breathe for one night.
Thank you, P, for posting the after party link. It's also linked under here in the description box. Also, don't forget that I've got all of Pierce's big one link, which leads you to a whole bunch more links down below. His link tree is down there, so give him a check out on the link tree stuff there, and definitely sub to his channel like I did. I think a while back.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
And some of the stuff you've got there is with the little voice stuff going across, and
yeah, it's kind of the old school way. Yeah.
Kind
of switched it up since then.
Yeah. There was one that kind of threw me because it had a picture of somebody that kind of had this looked like you with the headphones on, but you could see the face. And then I was like, oh wait, no, that's him in the corner.
In
the corner, right?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking
That's
about.
me in the corner.
That's me in the corner.
Face reveal.
That's one of our favorite songs as Atheists, isn't it?
Losing my religion.
I should use that as my theme song. I'm gonna have to write Michael and see if he'll let me do that.
Are you guys buds now?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, nice.
I've never met the man. I don't know.
Just act like you are, Fred, so that it's awkward if he doesn't remember you, and then he'll have to say yes.
No, the most famous person I'm friends with is YouTube. That's X there. So.
X is everybody's bud.
That's because he's good people
and damn sexy. I make a blush.
All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get into an after party. If you're interested in hanging out with us in the after party, guys, let me know and let Mikey know, and we'll send you a link via Facebook or Twitter or whatever force of medium you use. Is that right? Force of medium?
No.
JR says thanks, Pierce. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Also, thanks to my amazing patrons. You guys are awesome and really are the reason why I'm able to keep doing this. Because I'll explain this in the after party. But anyways, don't forget that Randolph and I are starting True North Talk, which is a call-in show format that you guys are probably really familiar with. It's coming at some point. I used to say, it's coming real soon, but we don't know because we haven't finished building the fucking studio yet. But if you sub to the channel, you won't miss our launch, and there's a lot of funny little construction-y kind of videos you can laugh at too. So help us out there. I'm also one of the newer hosts or co-hosts, and X has been on there with us. Mikey's been on there with us. A lot of great people involved in the new revamped and relaunched nonprofit show, which is one of the ACA products that airs between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Time. And you can also come on. You can also come on.
Come on, Eileen.
Bring tissues. No, I mean, you can also see myself and Andy and Seamus on a little show we call Atheist Drinking Out Loud. I can't drink because of the blood thinners, which is why I'm having the wonderfully non-alcoholic water.
He's just having the rocks.
Oh, X was on last night. So there you go. Definitely check that out. Johnny put me on hiatus because of my blood clot issue and the stuff that's been going on with my mom. So hopefully once the swelling is completely gone and I feel good about tying myself up more, then I will come back and do some more episodes of the nonprofits. But anyway, 2 p.m. Pacific time, last Saturday of every month. It will be happening this coming Saturday. I'm not sure who the guest is yet, but it's called Atheist Drinking Out Loud, and it's over on the Laughing in Disbelief channel, which is Andy's channel. And Seamus is a member of the Free Thought Prophets, who does their own show as well. All right, that's about it. Pierce, man, thank you for jumping in here with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
We did have to delay it for a bit because we were scheduled right when I got this damn clot. So
yeah, it's all good. There's no worries there.
But we made it, and July isn't even over yet.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I can start booking people for August, for fuck's sakes. And you guys want to come on?
You got 2 days. You got plenty of time.
Oh, I do have some booked, but I do need someone for the 3rd. That's for sure. But anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you didn't, complain to the management right down there.
Oh, technical difficulties. I'm sensing technical difficulties.
You know what I miss? I used to have a hand grenade with a complaint ticket on it, and I say, grab this and take the. Anyway,
you're first in line.
Neil has a biog clot. I don't even know what the hell that is, man. That's Dave, by the way. Simply Secular Dave. Dave lives so close, I could throw rocks and hit his house. That's how close Dave lives.
Oh, blog clot? I don't know.
Clot? I don't know.
There it is, big. He can't type. That's what you get, Dave, for being funny. Ha! Swing and a miss.
Oh,
everybody point and laugh.
He's trying to throw some sexually kind of innuendo-y kind of stuff on you. Jesus Christ, Dave.
Everybody point and laugh. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you can't tell where I'm pointing. Damn thing.
Saving Private Mikey. All right. We're going to get the hell out of here, and we're going to probably take about a 15-minute break or so, and then you'll head over to the link below if you want to hang out in the chat for the after party. If you want to be a part of it, let Mikey or myself know, and we'll send you a link, and you can jump in here with us and Mr. Pierce Watkins over here.
Yes.
All right. You can. I don't know. I'm stop reading the comments.
Stop reading. Let's go.
Like I always say at the end of the interviews, guys, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.